listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition After Show.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I love you guys.
Yay!
As Usher would say, it feels so good to be back. Hey everyone,
back.
it's Giselle Ugarte. I am back, and my very kind co-host tried to make me sound very cool by saying that I booked a job last week, but no, I took a very fat girl tumble in my Jasmine costume over Halloween. Actually, yeah, it was Halloween, and I sprained my ankle. So perfect for dance moms. I can't really be Abby's Ultimate. Yes, I know, but
I know, but I love how you did. I mean, I had your. I mean, I thought we were on the same page. You're throwing away our secrets.
I know, but this show is my priority on a Wednesday night.
Gotcha.
Okay, I'm always gonna be here, whether I'm wearing flats or heels. So I'm here for Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition. Please, my co-hosts, we only have 2 of them tonight. Chris Canjero, we'll tell you where he is in a minute, but hosts?
Hi. Oh, go ahead, Tony. Go ahead.
Oh, no. By all means,
No,
Jason.
by all means. Go ahead. Okay, well, I find it will. Hey, guys. Jason J. Carter here.
Hi, it's Tony Moore.
And Chris Canjero is actually at rehearsal tonight. He will be on The Voice tomorrow. NBC's The Voice, dancing with last year's winner, so make sure you tune in and support him there. But first off, we're going to start here with what has to be the most dramatic, juiciest, craziest episode
For sure.
of Abby's Ultimate Dance, as we renamed it, Experience.
Because it's an experience.
Because it
It's an
is.
experience, for sure.
This is the craziest thing I've seen in terms of Abby's world. You know, I'm comparing it to Dance Moms because, you know, Jason and I do come from the Dance Moms After Show. We're super fans of the show. Wow.
Right. I mean, that's all you really can say. But, you know, it's a good kind of wow. It's not, you know, it's really not a shocking, like, oh, my God, it's fine. It's a good wow. Like, good. You know, some things came to fruition that were just a little bit mind-blowing, but we needed to see that.
Yes.
And in addition to all the drama, we saw some more great dancing.
Yes.
When we saw, you know.
Well, I don't know if it was great,
Well,
but it was another week of competition.
And we saw some more genuine Abby
Yes.
this week for sure. It wasn't, you know, it was very raw and uncut. Seriously.
Abby Lee Miller.
Yeah, for sure.
Who we love. And by the way, just want to let you guys know we have some very juicy news and gossip that is relating to both of the shows. And it sounds like Yvette is going to be giving us a call again.
Nice.
We could also be getting some other surprise callers that I'm unaware of, in which case, you know, I'm glad that we're here and I don't have to worry about, you know, Christy walking in the door, pulling out her earrings, maybe, like firing it up.
Get in your face. I feel like when she gets in people's faces, she wants to make out with them because her lips are all in their nose. It's just like, Christy.
That's what we were saying. I was like, maybe she wants to make out with her.
I hope her breath is not hard. You know, I hope she's got some fresh breath going on there because she's invading personal space like, whoa.
Yeah.
Well, let's start off with the preliminary competition. The theme is survival.
Yes.
What do we think about this theme, first of all? Because it's you know, character and technique and survival.
Well,
is that dance related?
Yeah, of course.
For
like,
sure.
I think with any job that you go into, especially in the entertainment industry, it is all about survival. And I think dancers are no stranger to that. So,
And actually, it sounds like we have a caller right now.
Oh, they couldn't wait.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. AfterBuzz TV, you're on live. Hello.
Oh, they hung up.
Did they hang up?
Yeah, I think they'll call back.
Oh, by the
Okay.
way, I just want to say we have someone new in the booth with us tonight. Everyone say hello to Martin.
Hey, Martin.
What up, Martin?
Hi.
Hey.
Martin.
So-
Back to your question, though, G. I was when Abby said, it's all about how you play the game. First of all, I hate that phrase because you hear it so much in the industry. You got to play. It's true. You got to play the game.
It's cliche because it's true.
It's true. Yeah. And I guess she's trying to teach these kids, strategies on how to be a well-rounded, successful dancer in the industry. Be it not only dancing technicalities, but how to carry yourself, your personality, etc. So it works. Last week it was the audition thing about how they have auditions. I feel like every week's an audition, but this week is all
life is an audition.
Yeah, life is an audition.
Actually, no, life isn't an audition. It's the real thing.
Right. But these kids. So Abby. Whoever is the mastermind behind these shows and thinks of for her to say, because guaranteed she ain't thinking about this stuff herself. But I think it's good. I think
she's
it was a good
character.
lesson. Yeah, it was a good lesson. I will say off the record, Abby, whoever did your eye makeup this week, wash it off, try again, because it was not working for me. I thought you had spider eyes. Like, when you blink your eyes?
Yeah.
I don't wear mascara, but I watched enough Kids Incorporated to see spider eyes and have them this week.
Hey, you know what? Blue's coming back. Maybe she was projecting the... Okay, yeah, I'm not even going to try to argue that one. Nope, not even going to try.
Well,
you are all... Last week, it was all about, the week before, it was about eyebrows and people's eyebrows and stuff. What is up with you and eyes?
Those are very pertinent things
true.
on your face.
It's about being the total package, okay?
Right.
Let's be real. All the girls are very beautiful. Okay, let's get into this before we get too much into aesthetics. Let's talk about the skill here. So the preliminary skill is survival. The choreographer is Frank Gatson. The prize for the winner is that they get to choose the assignments. So they get to pair up people, pick the teams, choose the genres, choose the choreographers as well, which is a lot of power, a lot of responsibility for the little ones, which, I think that's an awesome prize. They wanted, tonight's episode was the perfect scenario, and I wouldn't be surprised if the producers had some sort of influence in sort of getting Yvette, because she changed her mind at the last minute, which, we'll talk about that in a minute. It's funny because Frank says the secret is do good, good comes. And of course they pan into moms.
And someone mentioned, I felt like he was talking to the moms and not really the kids. Yeah. That message can go to you guys too.
For sure.
Take it because it would pertain to you.
Yes, it would be for sure.
The message he gave, first of all, kind of a weird choice for Frank Gatson to come on the show. He's an older choreographer. He's been around the block since the Earth Cold.
I like Frank.
I do too. Well,
he does all the Beyonce stuff.
You're biased.
I'm all about Beyonce. But every move.
Yeah, it was just a random quote to give these kids for that. I was like, where did that come from? But yeah, I think it was mainly towards the moms. So it was just random. Tonight was a myriad of randomness.
He did make a good point, though. In terms of survival, in terms of this industry, there are a lot of cutthroat people. There are a lot of backstabbers. There are a lot of people that you cannot trust. And the hope in humanity is that if you are good to people and you are putting your best foot forward, that hopefully you'll be rewarded for that.
But the reality which the world we do live in, is that's not always the case.
It's not always the case.
The nice guys finish last.
The hope.
Trust me, they do.
Hope. Yes, Obama. Hope. Forward. Exclamation.
Yes, you can.
No comment.
Was that 4 years ago?
Who stood out for you guys?
I'm sorry. I'm going to go back to how I was last week. Madison is the bomb. And I feel like, can we still use the bomb? Are we still using that?
Bomb.org. Bomb.edu.
Bomb.com. I feel like they are sleeping on Madison. Whenever she dances, her first movement, her first hit, her first 8
facial expression too.
She's in it. And they just and they give it to someone else. And I'm so frustrated by that, because I feel like they are not giving her credit where credit is due. She is tearing it up on the low. She's flying low under the radar, but she's really tearing it up for me.
That could be a tactic. That could be, again, if we're talking about from the producer's point of view, that could be the bubbling under. Maybe. She's the 10 earthquake that's going to happen. Of course, Asia, always great every week for being 6 years old. She's phenomenal.
Yes.
Brianna, great. I'm not Hadley. Yeah. Elizabeth. Yeah, everyone. Amanda last week may have been a fluke because she was brilliant last week, but we know this week we didn't see much of her. So I would say for sure Asia, Madison, and Brianna are consistently standout stars.
I personally, you guys know I've Hadley quickly became my favorite, and I've been wanting for her to win the preliminary so badly, or be recognized as the top dancer. but I didn't think she should have won the preliminary.
No,
to
I
be
didn't
totally
think
honest
so
with you. I think she should have maybe a couple weeks ago, but I agree with you. Madison. And I think especially after the fact that she was in the bottom last week, and she did look wonderful when it was down to the top or the bottom 3 elimination. And so she needed to step it up, and I thought that she did. I was definitely captivated. I totally agree with you there.
But I think she's consistent when she performs. Like she's in it. She's just great. She's one of those dancers that, like, in a room full of dancers, your eye goes to her because she's just a great performer. She has that performance quality.
There's just something about her.
Right.
Yeah.
She has it. Like we always say every week.
It's the it factor.
We don't know
Yeah.
what it is, but Madison definitely has it. And what I like about her, too, and I try to always, I mean, we don't know these dancers. Always see them as from what we see on television.
Right.
But Madison gives you that, I'm just going to dance because I like to dance. I'm just going to go out there and dance the ish out of it. And if you like it, okay. If you don't, you never ever see her having a meltdown or a neediness about her.
Yeah.
You know, her or Brianna. You know, it's always just like, we got this. Whereas Hadley and Jordan, the mom, that whole camp, there's always some kind of energy that is very needy. It's very like, oh my God, it is the world. Oh, you know, never with Madison and Corinne.
I think you mentioned, Brianna and Madison, there's something about them where we clearly know, especially being behind the scenes, that they do have insecurities, and they're young. They're at that age too. But there's something about the way that they carry themselves that just is so effortless, and their confidence it's not robotic. It's not too much. It's not too old. It's very age appropriate and really exciting to watch. So I'm glad that she ended up making it through that round last week because.
Yeah, and I honestly feel, G, watching them too, is that they're more about the choreography and dancing. You know, they're more about the passion behind it. Versus, I think maybe some of these other dancers are getting caught up in being in the show and the competition and stuff like that. And I think that maybe Madison and them, when they're on stage, they're separating all the drama and they're just like, look, we love to perform. This is what we do. We want to win. Yeah, of course we're here for $100,000 and a shot at some school that's not affiliated with another school. But at the end of the day, we just want...
I want a dancer who... Like, hold on, wait. You want? They're not
going to you.
Right.
But it's her show.
It's true.
Next on my show.
On my show. But I think those two dancers, in conclusion, they're just dancing because that's what their heart is.
Yeah.
And it shows.
Yeah.
It does, completely.
And I'm pretty sure there's a lot going on. Like, there's a lot of pressure, not only just with the competition, but being on reality TV, being judged, having all of your insecurities come to light.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm sure they're definitely going through a lot. But I think it's very important that as a dancer, as a performer, you leave all that behind and just dance and live for your life.
And it looks like we've got a caller. Let's try again. Hello, you're calling in AfterBuzz TV. Are you there?
Hello, caller.
Yeah.
Hi, who's calling?
This is Zackery Torres.
Hi.
Hey, Zach.
Hi.
How are you?
Oh.
Good.
Thanks for
Zach.
calling.
You're welcome. I just wanted to say a few things about watching last night's episode.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I felt like last night's episode was, I felt like it wasn't Hadley's best performance, but I feel like it was really upsetting to see them do that to Hadley, and I feel like Abby went way too far.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like Team Hadley and Yvette all the way.
Mm-hmm.
And they're
Hey,
just so
I'm Team Yvette and
amazing
Hadley for
that
sure.
Yeah, it's just so hard to see them do that to them because they're so amazing and so kind-hearted in every way that I can't believe they would make them look like that. And to everybody who's listening, they're 100% pure-hearted and nothing else.
Well, we wish that you would have stuck around.
Yeah, we were very upset when they eliminated you. That was not fair at all.
At all.
Well, you know what, the way I like to think about it is even if it's not fair or it was my time, it's my time, everything happens for a reason. And if I was eliminated, I mean, obviously I was upset, but now that I look at it, it's like everything happens for a reason. And even if you're upset, then you know what, just move on. And it was a great experience and it was my time. And so they wanted me to leave, I'm going to leave. So it was just a really great experience.
Tell us what you're up to now, because clearly you have star quality. We were all so impressed with you, technically not even just as a boy, but in general as a dancer.
Well, lately I've been back in dance class, training super hard and working really hard.
And you're in Arizona?
What?
You're in Arizona?
Yeah, I'm in Arizona. I'm training at Dance Connection Scottsdale. I've been working really hard and seeing what kind of opportunities are going to come up. So I'm just really excited to see what's in store for me in the future.
What did you think about, I mean, I don't want to jump too far ahead, but, you know, since we have you on the phone right now, what did you think about seeing Elizabeth on the episode at the end?
Well, at the end, I mean, obviously Elizabeth's attitude and Elizabeth's, tantrum was probably was very uncalled for, but yet at that moment in time, when we're all really stressed out and we're exhausted, we have those feelings that we just want to explode and lay on the floor and just cry because you're so exhausted. You're either just so stressed out, what's going to happen, oh, I got eliminated, or stuff like that. Like, you're just so mentally, through the roof that I feel like I understand where she's coming from. Mm-hmm. But I do feel like she went a little too far.
Yeah,
a little.
Yeah. She went beyond.
That was
she was the most.
That was like geriatric toddlers and tiaras, right?
Yeah.
Well, Zach, thank you so much for calling in. If you're ever in the LA area, by all means, we'd love for you to stop by.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for watching.
Best of luck to
tell
you,
your
Zach.
mom hello. We loved her too.
Yeah, tell your mom we
Okay.
said hi.
Okay, thank you.
Happy
Bye.
birthday, Zach.
Welcome.
Bye.
Have a good
Bye.
night.
Oh, he's
Zach,
great.
everybody, from Abby's
give
Ultimate
him a round of
Dance
applause.
Competition.
Yay. So ahead of his years.
You know what I really wish he would do? I really wish that applause lasted forever.
I know.
thought it started going into
I mean, we're pretty awesome.
I love it. I wish he would bottle up his positive attitude and the way he is, and just send it out to the world.
He's
just
so
his
wonderful.
own little view on everything.
It was so funny
good.
because even last week, you know, you could see that he was everybody's shoulder. He was everybody's friend. He was everybody's, you know, whether it was a crush or a best friend.
Yeah.
Everyone was so sad when he left.
I know. Everybody loves Zach. Want a piece of Zach.
I know.
Wait, you can't say that. He's so young.
Oh, well, okay, well.
You can not that kind of a piece.
Oh, well then.
Yeah, I mean, where's your head at? Really?
Come on.
Wow.
There are children
That's me
watching.
then.
This is a family show.
Okay,
Sorry.
let's move on. So Hadley wins.
Hadley should not have won, but she won.
She did win, and I'm happy for her because, you know, maybe in this specific moment, again, wasn't totally deserved, but she is an incredible dancer,
She is.
and I was looking to see her take the spotlight, take on a new challenge.
Yeah.
What do
But
we? What? Go ahead.
You know what I think is funny is that she won because she was better at technique than Madison was. Yet, when we get to that point, she had the
Epic
most
fail.
critiques as far as technique.
It's that it's the preliminary winner's curse. I
Yeah.
think maybe only one, maybe two dancers have been able to,
Get
you
it
know,
together.
blow the
second round.
judges away when they're in the spotlight. But I don't know if it's the pressure. I don't know if it's coincidence, but who knows? So Yvette and Hadley get to pick the pairings. Pick the groups.
You mean Yvette got to pick?
Well,
By
Yeah.
way of Hadley.
Yes, Yvette was all about those
Hadley was
pairings.
like,
as Hadley
yay.
just sat there and was like, okay,
Yvette
what am I
was
doing?
like, Yes, finally.
I have the power. Ooh, I can't
sometimes
wait.
Mama knows best, you know.
Well, so she thinks. She thinks she knows best.
But then it came down to her either doing a hip hop trio or a contemporary solo.
Yeah, and I personally think she shot herself in the foot because
Both
I
feet.
think both her sickle feet. Because I think that Hadley wanted to do the hip hop. That's what she wanted to do. Yvette
was like,
playing
no.
the game,
Right.
wanted to be like, no, this is your opportunity to shine and do this.
She said
Why don't you do this? You know, because
Totally.
and will Sabotage. I although Yvette, when she called in that one time, she swayed me, but I still think she's playing the game, and I still think
Well,
she was
who
definitely.
wouldn't be?
But I mean, but you see what happened. Like, karma's a bee.
Right, and is there? I mean, I just can't help to think: is there really a need to have this? If you're the bomb, if you're that, obviously everyone's dope. I feel like there's no need to sabotage and to really into. There's a way. Okay, again, that phrase, play the game, fine, but there's also a way to just be dope and not to worry about setting up people and finding a way to play, you know, like everyone's a pawn and get rid of people. Just if you're that good and you're obviously that and you're that amazing, let that show and keep it moving. And like, we'll see throughout the course of the show that Yvette plays like, I would never do that. No, I won't. Come on now.
And she did.
Oh, and we have a caller. I have the feeling I know who it is.
Uh-oh.
Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hi, who's calling?
This is Chris here.
Hi there.
Brianna here.
Hi, how are you guys?
I'm good. How are you?
We are very good. Thank you so much for calling. How exciting. This is a surprise for us.
Yeah.
AfterBuzz exclusive.
Have you watched the show before?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's awesome. I love it. So tell us about last night's episode. Or have you been watching the recap? What do you think about this commentary? What did you think about last night after watching it?
Last night's episode was very interesting. I think it was a great night. I love the duo I was in with Miss Asia Ray.
Mm-hmm. As did we.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it was a great night.
Well, good. Tell us, what were your feelings? Did you feel like Asia outshined you?
No.
Mom's like, no.
Mom, we heard you.
But, I mean, in my personal opinion, she did an amazing job, and
Oh, wow, Mom.
I worked with her day and night on that duo, so I think we both did a great job.
Well, tell me a little bit about that. You did work very, very hard. Mm-hmm. Everybody values rehearsal time.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So what was that moment like when Evette walked in and Chrissy, went a little nuts? Were they both at fault? Was it one or the other? Tell me about the situation a little bit, because it seemed as though, here's Christy blaming Yvette for making Asia cry, but it almost seemed like Asia was more afraid of seeing her mom come out as that character.
Yeah.
Right. I think Yvette was one of my favorite moms on the show. She was very supportive and very kind to others. So, in my opinion, I think she was very wrong in the way she acted when she came into rehearsal.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's where I stand with her coming into rehearsal. However, I think Asia reacted in a sense that she'd never seen her mom like that before. And she was kind of confused and nervous and scared of what was happening.
That her mom was going to swallow Yvette with those lips.
Well, let's ask Chris. Chris, tell us about what you thought about that, because it seemed like you were a little upset by it, and that after that point you didn't want to trust Yvette.
Yeah, I was a little perturbed, you could say. She was out of line for coming in because the girls only get so much time to rehearse and practice. So, time was crucial. So for her to come in, that was a bit much. Enough was enough.
Did you feel like
it was a waste of the kids' time.
Did you feel like she was coming in with an intention to start something, or do you really think she was genuine and just wanted to pop in and see how the pairing was?
I honestly, I don't know what I have mixed feelings about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, we know that you can't say very much about what to expect, but what are maybe some things that you can tell us to look out for in upcoming episodes? Which hopefully you guys stick around, but
I don't know. You'll just have to wait and see.
Damn it.
Can look for in the upcoming episodes is great dancing.
Of course. Good. That's no brainer.
And Brianna does
an amazing
fantastic
job. I want to
job.
say, Brianna, last weekend when you did you were in the trio, was it hip hop? It was choreographed by Anthony Burrell.
Yes.
Your swag, you were brilliant. And what we were talking about last week, it was so effortless how you embodied. I mean, being a dancer here in Los Angeles, you would definitely have that style on top of all your training, and you were just a joy to watch. And you were a joy to watch every week, but last week you blew me away. And so kudos to you. You're one of my favorite dancers on the show this season.
For sure. I loved you in that hip hop number
very
last
good.
week. Like you were living
on
on that subway. way.
Do you know what? I do have a question for you. Being now that you have been on this show, you did really open up to us a few weeks ago in terms of your past with bullying. Have you had anybody reach out to you and say, you know what, like, I feel you inspired me? Because I feel as though you've almost taken on this role now where you can be a role model to other people.
Ever since that episode, people have messaged me from across the country with similar stories, and they feel for me, and that things are not getting better for them, and things have gotten a lot better this year. And I think because I said something about it, that I told them to not stand up to them in a way of being mean, but stick up for yourself. That was always something that I was afraid to do.
Yeah.
And always stay strong in your heart and never let somebody tear you down or make you feel lesser than the amount of greatness that you are.
Word.
So true.
Oh, well, that's such a joy to hear.
Shabila.
You know, we really see star quality in you. You're such a joy to watch, and we appreciate you calling in and watching us and supporting AfterBuzz TV.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have you back, and if you're ever in the LA area, we'd love to have you stop by.
Of course.
All right. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Thank
Sleep
you.
well.
Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What a great
that's
surprise.
amazing.
I love this.
But I love the mom, like, no, yeah, say that. Like her publicist. Breathe now.
Hey, you know what? She's a great momager. Can't blame her.
Yeah.
Can't blame her.
And she's one of the pretty ones, too.
Right,
Yeah.
for sure.
Not that aesthetics matter, but
her eyebrows are acceptable.
See, there we go with the. Speaking of moms, just a quick note, because suddenly I realized this. Was this the first time that all of a sudden Madison's mom, Corrine, just kind of popped up and started like talking and having a little bit
A
more?
little bit.
the thing is, though, is that Madison's been kind of hidden as well.
That's true.
So naturally, you know, I'm
The
sure her
mom.
mom would be hiding. And if anything, it could just be that they're being a little bit more PC. They're trying
Yeah.
to be smart about the game. They don't want to. Reality television, it can be really risky. You never know what they're going to put out there. And so maybe they were just being a little quiet, and that's how she got lost.
Yeah, because when she popped up on the screen tonight, I was like, oh,
She exists. It's like the
that's a
Yeti.
mom.
It's like the Loch Ness monster.
Well, hey, how are you? You're Madison's mom. Totally forgot you were there. I love Madison was there by herself.
Madison,
We
I
hadn't
live in
seen
the
you.
car.
Oh,
Madison's
no.
not really 13. She's 35.
I know they're all aliens from Mars.
I know, right?
Some other dance planet.
In Asia, at least.
Okay, well, let's get back to these pairings. So,
Okay.
on the one hand, I can see where she's coming from as a mom. She wants her daughter to have a solo. Because in any other situation, Hadley would rock a solo.
Yeah.
But I think choreography throughout this episode was a little
Lackluster?
lackluster
Yeah.
after the preliminary competition. The preliminary one I didn't mind so much, but I also feel like some of what they showed us was perhaps during a time when they were improvising because they were all doing different things, or maybe they were all really off. But either they were off, the choreography wasn't flattering, maybe it was, you know, what?
Shabila.
Teacher, well, first of all, this show needs to get their dance style terms together first and foremost, because they're calling jazz funk that
Yeah.
was like modern interpretive dance. Like,
Right.
come to LA, jazz that is not jazz funk.
Right.
And then hip hop was like that was jazz funk.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, and again, these dancers
Well, go ahead.
they're only as good as the choreography they're given.
Yes.
Very true.
The direction they're given. So it's almost like this show was Sabotage was for sure. There was so much
All around.
self-sabotaging. It was like hashtag the best sabotage show on the earth on television right now.
Well, here's another point I want to discuss with you guys is, you know, they're saying that she's screwing Asia over by putting her with Brianne. You know, so are you saying that Asia's not good enough? Because in the end, they're only going to pick one.
Well,
so what if they're down to the final two? She's going to have to stand next to every single one of those
Right.
ladies at one point or another. So aren't they supposed to all be on the same playing field?
They are, I think with Asia, what they were realizing is that because she's young, she doesn't pick up as quickly as, I mean, she gets it, but in the beginning, it takes her a little bit. But again, she's like 6, you know what I mean? So, but in the end, she kills it, you know what I mean? But,
every single time.
Yeah, but
Every
of course,
time.
it's going to take her just a little bit longer than maybe pick up the step and things like that. But just a little bit. I'm not saying that she's like totally struggling. Like when she gets out there, like she doesn't know what she's doing.
Well, she
But
definitely plays it off like she's,
yeah, I mean, she does
This is there.
She does an incredible job when she performs. Her face, her dancing, especially for a 6-year-old, is on point. But I think Yvette was just kind of like little Asia. She takes a little bit to kind of, we're gonna kind of put her in this because, we're gonna try to, I guess, sabotage
see
her.
a little something new.
Yeah.
I think it's racial. Just kidding. No, I don't. No, but honestly, like,
You need to do at least one of those every
I
episode.
think it's racial.
As Ryan Cree would say.
Yeah, check. In light of our recent election, just joking. No, but first of all, Asia is ridiculously talented. That little girl at 6
She
years
is.
old, guaranteed I was not dancing like that at 6 years old. And I don't know why they keep saying, "Oh, poor little Asia." She pulls up
does.
and
She does.
kills it every single time. I mean, her like a grown ass woman.
She does.
It's freakishly amazing.
She is kind of like a little adult in that tiny little body.
Right,
yeah.
Just
Like
the
she
way
has-
she stands and the
Giselle.
things that she says.
She has ping and pow at 6 years old, okay? Like, ping and pow. And so, I think that they underestimate this little girl, and then it's foot and mouth syndrome every single episode with Asia. It's ridiculous, but amazing at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, for them, and like you said, they're not, they each go through each other, and there's who's going to be left standing, you
Yeah,
know? So,
exactly.
Hadley and Asia would have been a dope trio, because maybe maybe Asia would have outdanced Hadley.
Yeah.
I hope we see that pair soon. I feel like we're going to see that next week. We could.
It's inevitable.
Very well. Although I will say I love how Aaron points out that Yvette and Hadley could potentially make fools of themselves. Let's be real with who really made the biggest fool of themselves on the show.
You think it was Christy?
Elizabeth,
Oh, well,
Aaron's daughter.
for sure. Well, but that's every week, though.
Oh my
But
God.
this week,
Well,
we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
That-
But
yeah.
that was just something at the beginning of the episode that I watched it twice, and the second time I went, oh no, you didn't.
Right.
Okay, let's move on to a segment I'm sarcastically calling grown-ups.
Oh,
Word.
boy.
And to start off with, I just want to say that I really enjoyed watching Jordan's mom this week, because in the past, I know she's even tweeted me about this, that she's like, no, I promise I'm not being a terrible mom. Like I found out that she's also a dance teacher as well.
Yeah.
And I felt like in this episode, she had the dance instructor face
did.
on.
She
wasn't being the stage mom. And I just loved how she was being assertive. She wasn't, wishing that she'd said something, or she was really giving her true opinions on things, and she was getting down to business. She made me laugh.
What I find interesting is that last week, and we talked to her about this, she stayed quiet while Yvette was trying to clean the thing and everything like
Right.
that. This week, she had a lot to say.
Well, she said she felt disrespected last week, right? Correct? When Yvette was trying to clean for not including her in the process.
Oh, during the show.
Right.
she said
During the
that.
show, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, but whatever. I mean, Jordan's another breakout star. I like what.
Oh, beautiful.
Gorgeous girl. Her dancing is I wouldn't call. I would say she's probably top 3. In the top 4 of the 8 that are left, that are probably the ones that are better to watch. And the mom, I don't blame them. I don't blame the mom for being the way she is, because she's a dance teacher and she wants her kid to be good. And when you have a kid with that much potential, you have to push them. You have to make,
of course.
or they're gonna people that are that talented are super lazy because they're good at everything. So everything comes easy to them. So why work hard when it comes easy to me? So you have to always be on their kid. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Thinking of you making fun of Brooke on Dance Moms.
Shut up.
Oh, okay, let's stick. Okay, so then up next, we've already started to discuss Christine Evette a little bit
Oh, that.
with the phone calls, but among the 3 of us,
Sure.
I just
let's
think
talk
that
about Christine Evette.
That whole situation, was just ugly. That's something that you
And
don't
we're not
do
just
in
talking
front
about the
of
white
your kids.
spandex pants either.
No. It's after Labor Day. Get it together.
White spandex? Never.
Never. That was so awful, and I feel like it was so unnecessary to escalate it to that level. But as they mentioned last week, I think there's a lot of stuff that we're not seeing to where we're kind of like, why did you let it get to that point? Like, where is this coming from? It's like if all of a sudden right now I just started yelling at Jason, and
But
like we got
sometimes
into
I
like
really
a big
do think
fight or
it comes
something.
out of nowhere.
I
And that's
think
one
it
thing
does.
that we asked Yvette about that, and this is before things started to get, take me outside, blah, blah.
Yeah.
She said, no, really, she would get that way just from her looking at her a certain way or from her smiling a certain way. And I, like I said before, I think it was a little inappropriate for her to pop it on rehearsal, but it was truly Christy's reaction that is what disrupted the rehearsal.
Yes.
And just everything went to shambles.
Well, I thought about this in depthly, and I think that there's a sexual attraction there.
I love that you just decided that all the drama is because Christy really wants that.
But
you just have a crush on her, and you just want to see something happen with her.
It's the ponytail. It's the ponytail for you.
Oh, you got a ponytail, right?
And the hoop earrings. No, but
the Miqua.
No, she's Shabila. But to hit me. It was classic,
She's
amazing.
not gonna hit you.
I know, but and I loved how hood rat fabulous Yvette got. Hit me! I want you to hit me! Like, yeah.
She didn't, did she?
She did. She was like, hit
Fine,
me.
hit me.
Yeah.
And all you saw was Christy's
good, go.
lip just engulf Yvette's mouth and face. No, good, it was great.
She said,
Very real world.
they're going to handcuff me and take me away next time.
No, and you'll need a medic.
Yeah. Oh, she said that as she walked
better
out.
have a medic as she whipped her ponytail.
I feel like it took me
She's
back.
going to cost her out of the competition.
Yeah.
That's what Yvette was saying too.
Yeah.
And truly, I mean, watching Asia as well, because, watching it a second time around, I wanted to see, okay, at what point are the girls getting distracted here? Because that's what Christy's trying to argue. You're distracting. I don't want my daughter to dance in front of you. I mean, her daughter dances in front of you all the time.
Yeah.
So what is really the big deal? And at first you see the girls kind of go, like, whoa, that awkward moment when you see a fight happening and you kind of want to watch, but you kind of feel awkward and you don't want to join.
Yeah.
There's that moment. And then when her mom turns into this animal, that's when
Literally an animal. Literally an animal.
That whole situation took me back to like high school, middle school, where like two people would fight, but it wouldn't really be a fight. It would be two people like just kind of nudging each other, like hit me.
No,
I want you to hit me first.
It
I
was
want
a
you to hit
titty
me first.
nudge. It was like boom, boom, boom. Titty nudge. It was like mine are bigger than yours. You're right, Giselle. Chrissy loses it.
Like
instantly,
that. Yeah,
over nothing. But and I understand there's always those people in your life that you see them in instant rage because you just can't stand them that much. But Chrissy takes it to a whole other level of. I mean, where is she from again? Is she from south of the 10, Gardena, like Culver City?
That's a good question.
With that attitude.
I mean,
Hey, Martin, if you have a chance, if there's any way that you can look up and see where Asia and
213.
Christy are from on Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition.
Sure.
Just out of curiosity,
No, I will
on the Lifetime website, I'm sure they have that.
I will say this. Christy does a great job by keeping that ponytail pinned in because when she was whipping it around,
slick.
it didn't move. It just went shoo.
that's like spit
went right back.
and like some really good. I mean, there's like J-Lo doesn't got a pull back ponytail that good, and the hoop earrings is doing.
Well, that's because J-Lo's got the little
Baby
Mexican
hair.
curls.
Baby hair.
Yeah, little baby hairs, but Christy looks fierce. Like, do not mess with this woman. She blows in. It's just like doors open. She walks in. The eyes, it's just intense. She's sexy.
Do we think this was at all produced?
No,
You know what? It reminds me of when Evette went to Tua's mom's room
Right.
to have that little chat. Never in an episode that we've seen thus far has a mom walked in on another rehearsal, as far as I could see. And if they did, they didn't make this big deal about it. But I almost feel like they were like, oh, go in and check on your pairing and see how it's going. You've done all this work. Go see how it is. And then it just escalated.
Yes.
Well, speaking from one of my inside sources on the show, that a lot of the drama we're seeing is not fabricated. It actually that it's deeper. It's even more intense than what but they're not allowed to show.
Beep, beep,
yeah,
beep, beep.
I mean, it's like it would be like basketball wives up in here. My effing kid, but a beep beep. The kids would be cussing.
Brought the doodah!
I know. Beep, beep, beep. Like little Asian just dropping F-bombs like what? Like Dexter, like she's on an episode of Dexter. You know what I mean? Like, what the F-bomb, boop, boop.
Man. Okay, well let's get to the showtime.
The performances?
Yeah.
Yes.
The lackluster performances of this week's episode.
That's true. I mean, overall as a whole, I was not impressed this week by the choreography. I was not impressed this week by the dancers. Even the ones that I'm normally impressed by, I felt like they could do so much better. And the judges even mentioned that a couple of times. And so it makes me kind of wonder, are they getting burnt out at this point? Are they sleeping? And, you know, having some experience in reality television and having friends that have done reality TV and producers, whatever, it's not a week by week process. It's like an every 3 days is 1 week.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it goes and then it goes and then it goes.
Yeah.
So these kids are away from home for that long a time. They're burnt out. They're rehearsing every single day. What's to blame for
I sometimes
the roadkill?
I sometimes wonder.
As a whole, because I did not like Abby's comparison, which we'll talk about in a minute.
Right. I often wonder if it's the choreography more so. I feel like they're doing what they can.
Oh, it looks like Christy is from Corona.
Oh, well. There you have it.
So there you go.
There you have it. The IE. There you have it. I mean, no, and to our IE listeners, Riverside, San Bernardino, West Covina, Colton, Ratchet Cucamonga, we love you. We love you. But Christy, yo, she's from Upland, you know, like Walnut.
Just kidding, Corona. We love you.
But
I don't really know.
But Tony,
But go ahead, Tony, go ahead.
What you're saying though, about is the choreography.
I think they're doing what they can with the choreography.
Because it was a stretch this week.
Yeah, it was really a stretch. Like, people didn't get what they were doing. It's the end of the world was the theme, and like it
survival,
was just,
and then
it was a lot.
Mixed match styles. I mean, for all we know, they could have been doing jazz funk and taps. They should just tap dance.
It was an intergalactic
Jazz funk.
Sabotage.
They would have called that modern.
Right. Interpretive modern. But you're tapping. And even the kids are, but yeah, it's so, we'll say it again, the kids are only as good as the choreography they're given.
Yes.
You know, they take, as dancers, these kids are still sponges. They're not creating yet, so they're absorbing what they're given. They're being told what to do. They're being directed what to do.
Right.
So if Anthony Burrell, Bobby Newberry, Frank Gatson says, sickle your foot, and they go out and do it, you can't clock them for that. You can't clock that.
Well, and also, it's supposed to be contemporary. And there are no rules in contemporary. I think Abby just wanted to say something because here's Richie next to her saying, did she just do that?
Right. Yeah.
And she's assuming it's about her feet, but really, in my opinion, it looked like it was just simply that she fell out of character when she was hitting the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that. Let's start off with the military routine.
Okay, Elizabeth, that was Amanda. Wait, hold on 1 second. Go down the names of that one. I got
Okay,
confused.
so we had Lexine,
Oh, Amanda.
who I believe grows up on stage.
Yes.
She is a baby on the streets and then
a freak on the stage.
and then a freak on the stage. It's true.
Yeah. She's good, for sure. And right now, for the last couple of shows, she's been a favorite, and she's been kind of under the radar. So I like her. I think she's great. I do
like
feel
her.
that you never really see a lot of personality from her. I mean, she's almost like that girl that doesn't say anything, just does her job and goes home. You know?
Yeah.
It's meticulously amazing, but like that's it. Don't ask her
Yeah.
questions. In and out, quickie. You know.
But at least she's being an everyday kid.
Right.
You know, she hasn't lost that childlike sense to her.
That routine was actually probably the best out of all three tonight. Out of all the different genres.
In terms of choreography?
In terms of choreography and it being watchable. You know, it was like it was.
Both of the jazz funks, I think, had their hits and misses.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Amanda and that face. She always looks confused to me.
Well, she didn't give eyebrow.
No, we did not get an eyebrow.
We didn't get an
this
eyebrow.
week.
I think
was very
Elizabeth only
disappointed.
has two faces. I feel like she has blank, and then she has like stripping for dollars.
And then there's a third one that's just filled with water and tears and just crying.
Ugly face, we'll call that one.
Yeah.
Yikes.
But amidst all the fabulous makeup, the MAC they're wearing, Elizabeth.
She is beautiful.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
She looks. If I were hiring someone to play a dancer in a film, I would hire her without her actually requiring to dance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Hadley solo. You know, we all kind of talked. I wouldn't say she was a roadkill, but
No.
it was not Hadley. And Yvette tried to make a comment during the choreography, but it was apparently too late, which I'm surprised they didn't make changes on their own.
Yeah.
I guess when the world ends in December, we're all gonna have to braid our hair into these gross dreadlock braids that Hadley had tonight.
With like an orangey color.
Yeah, who allowed that? Right, Martin. I agree. But yeah, it wasn't one of her best solos. It was again lackluster.
But again, I think she did what she could with what she was given.
But her explanation for things.
That's a habit I always have. Get a new habit.
Get a new habit.
Oh, man.
Fix it.
Let's talk about the reactions, though, that the judges had.
Richie did not understand or get what was happening.
I didn't really get it either.
No. And when she gave the explanation, I was like,
Still
really?
puzzled.
Yeah.
I was like, the costume makes sense.
Yeah, but again, choreography given to her, she did what she could to interpret it what was trying to be interpreted.
I was glad that Robin, did support her and said that she looked beautiful, but at the same time, Robin also supported Zach. And
Yeah, totally.
moving on, we had, what else? There's Hadley.
Jordan and
Then we had,
Madison.
so Jordan and Madison, their duet. Two beautiful girls, but again, that choreography was there were some awkward parts.
Yeah.
The execution was not entirely there, and Robin was right on. They weren't aggressive.
Yeah. But I love Madison.
They're so
Yeah,
beautiful.
they were
Both
great
of them
in
are
it.
so beautiful.
Watching it, that was the saving grace, was their beauty, because everything else was just not there. And there was some moments like, who would choreograph that part? Like, it was very discombobulated and very disjointed and jilted. It was not a good piece at all for them.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't showcase anything. It made no sense.
Yes, and I agree with Abby's commentary on it too, is that Jordan's making the same mistakes over and over and over.
Mm-hmm.
But to that, I really don't think this is over several weeks. I think this is just over several days.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily the type of mistake that you can fix overnight. That is a bad habit that you develop and that you need to really continuously work on and work on and work on. But, if you're going to make mistakes, at least make new ones, I guess.
Right, get
That's
new
true.
habits.
Thank goodness Madison was not in the bottom 3 this week. And then we had the human machine duet, which everyone was looking forward to.
Brianna and
The
Asia.
big divide, the big
The setup.
allegedly.
The alleged setup.
Allegedly.
I didn't think that Asia outdanced Brianna.
I thought they were. I thought
I thought it was a
looked
great.
great.
I thought it was a great
together.
pairing.
And and some of the comments the judges gave, especially, was that they were hitting the same turns at the same time.
Yeah.
It was good. I mean, they dance great together because they're great dancers that get it. That's why you can. It's just like you can be at an audition with several dancers, but if you guys all dance the same, it's like an unspoken language.
Right.
They have that it factor. Those two are definitely it dancers, so that's why it looked good. And again, they're only as good as their choreography. So tonight's choreography wasn't the bomb, but it was a great number for both of them.
Yeah.
I wish that they would have done another number, like a group number, or maybe split the group into 2, because I felt like that one number that they each had did not do anybody justice.
No.
And it wasn't about the weaknesses, because I know we've seen great choreography with people that struggle. And there was a huge difference this week, and it's unfortunate. But
Yeah.
I'm glad that the results
Ended the way they did.
ended the way that they did, which, let's talk about that. So, Asia and Lexine are the top 2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can see
sure.
that. Yeah.
Great.
Approved.
Good. I approve.
I thought Brianna should have been up there as well. Is it Brianna or Brianna? Because I feel like we keep saying the same thing. Martin,
Brianna.
you guys are saying
Like,
Brianna.
paper,
I'm
scissors,
saying
rock.
Brianne.
It's Brianna.
Okay, good.
We're gonna name her Bree Bree.
Thank goodness.
Bree.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
Yeah. I mean, she danced beautifully. I think she did a great job. I think she did enough to be safe.
Okay.
Sure, yeah. Everyone that was safe this week deserved to be safe. They for what it's worth, they showed up.
And it sounds like Yvette's trying to call, by the way, over there, Barton. I don't know if she is or not, but Jordan is safe, thank goodness, despite the repeated mistakes. And Abby calls out Yvette for trying to play the game.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what? I just think that karma can be a B. And
Instant karma.
Do you think it's karma, though?
I honestly think, and Yvette as a person, I fell in love with her when she called last time, but in this situation, I really think that she tried to definitely play the game and definitely tried to
she might be on the
get
phone with
people
us.
out.
Yvette?
Yeah.
Oh,
Hello, doll.
Hi, Yvette.
We are running a little over on time, so we're gonna have to keep it short, but tell us your thoughts on tonight's episode. And you are the topic of conversation right now, so
Yes.
Your ears must have been burning.
what was behind that strategy, miss?
Okay, well, first, let me comment on this. Hadley's solo, Fifth Element,
Yes.
I could not change choreography. I could, so there you go.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know.
As a dance teacher and as Hadley's mom, that's why I would sit there and ask questions in the moment, because I was not allowed to change choreography after that. So I just kind of want to make that for the record.
It's a good point.
Okay.
It's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, okay, so you asked me about our strategy.
Yes, get to those assignments, because I feel a certain way about it, but I would love for you to explain the
Okay.
And then I see that there's nothing wrong with it.
It was a little out there.
Well, I mean, as you see, we changed it a few times. I can't comment everything that I would love to. Okay. My first strategy would be I wanted Hadley with Madison and Brianna as a dance teacher. But it's a competition.
And it's a reality show.
It's a competition, and it's a reality show. So that really would not be the best strategy. And so then we changed it. I absolutely wanted, Hadley's great at hip-hop, and she had not had the chance to do hip-hop in the competition yet. So I thought, great, I'll put Hadley in the hip-hop. She'll stand out. We'll put Asia in the solo. And I don't mean it. Let's put her in there because we want, when Elizabeth's mom, Erin, she said, why does she have to embarrass kids? That's not it. I would say to those moms, listen, believe in your kid.
Word.
Abby's looking for a well-rounded dancer. Okay, so we did make changes at the last minute, and we did put Hadley in the solo, so then that bumped Asia over with Brianna in the jazz routine. So it did kind of mix things around a little bit. It definitely created a lot of commotion amongst the moms and so forth. But there's a strategy behind that. I'll just say, in a nutshell, it was the worst week for both Hadley and I, because it did have a change of flavor in the sense that every parent turned on us. Which, why wouldn't I expect that? I mean, it was really titled Hunger Games. So are there friends in Hunger Games? Absolutely not. It's okay. But the thing that I didn't appreciate is Abby's tongue. Abby's tongue to Hadley. Critique her technique and give her any corrections with any intensity that you want at that level, but don't call her roadkill.
Right.
Don't allow her to plant that in her head and in her heart and reprogram, or just replay that, not reprogram, but program that in her head and her heart, and allow her to replay that moment in front of a live audience. No, it's not a live show, but my big beef is don't do that. Don't do that to my kid or any kid. Don't tell Jordan that you want to break her ankle. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Okay? So I just wish that Abby would understand that her delivery is inappropriate. Her tongue is like a knife.
It
and
cuts.
she doesn't understand maybe at times when it goes really deep. She doesn't have a child. Robin, I don't think, has children. Neither does Richie. So still, what makes me different in that judging panel is that I am a teacher and a dancer and a competitor and a choreographer, and I'm a dance mom.
That's
So
interesting
there
that
is
you
a
say that. I have to stop you really quickly there. A dance mom, Yvette. Is there any chance that we might be seeing you on the next season of Dance Moms?
Oh, dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, say that last part again.
I said, is there any chance that we might be seeing you on the next season of Dance Moms?
Like possibly like episode 3, or not episode 3, season 3, episode.
Yeah. Are you?
I don't know. It could be a possibility.
I feel like you would fit right in.
I know, I do too.
I think you would give the Abby Lee Dance Center a run for their money.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll see. Abby, don't talk about my baby girl. I'm full with that.
You'll have to check her, huh?
Correct her. But just don't belittle my baby girl.
Yes.
Hey, Yvette, do you guys ever get the chance to tell Abby to kick rock sometimes and check Abby? I mean, are you sequestered? Can you not talk to Abby or look at her or turn a stone?
You're exactly right. We cannot talk to her, cannot communicate with her. And listen, if there's something that I regret, I regret standing over to the side and biting my tongue. I didn't bite my tongue backstage with all the moms.
Yeah.
So why did I bite my tongue when she is just crucifying my kid while she's on stage? Shame on me.
True.
Preach.
Yeah.
Well, Yvette, we always love when you call and, give Hadley a hug for us. And I'm sure we will be hearing from you again. And we're looking forward to next week. I don't know if you were listening earlier, but Zach called in. He had nothing but amazing things to say about both you and Hadley.
He did.
And then Chris and Brianna called in as well, and they said nothing but lovely things.
That's awesome. They're all great people. I love them. And I love your show. You guys are hilarious. This is my Wednesday night entertainment.
Oh, I love it.
We love
Thanks,
you
Yvette.
too, and you look great on camera. Those teeth are on point.
What is up with
Thanks. But I've definitely signed up for a few enhancements since seeing myself on TV.
Yvette, make sure your eyebrows are on point and your eye makeup is on point because Jason will say something about it.
Okay, listen, that's already been fixed.
Well, good.
All right, have a good night.
Thanks for calling. Happy holidays.
Okay. Well, we are definitely running over because it's so easy to do with this show. We love it. We get so involved in it. And, I want to encourage you, if you're watching, join in the conversation, whether it's through YouTube, giving us a call. Clearly, we answer our phones. Give us 5 stars on iTunes if you love us and want to see more. Let us know what you love, what you want to see more of, because we want to bring you the best possible shows. This is our first season here at AfterBuzz, and we want to keep bringing it back. Hopefully this show's doing well, but...
Yeah.
If not,
hope so.
we'll be back for Dance Moms.
Yeah.
Word.
Okay, so to wrap it up, I want you to give me your prediction, but I also want you to give me your reaction to the ultimate crybaby tantrum I have seen yet. Jordan.
Finally.
Or not Jordan, Elizabeth.
Giselle.
I know, I love Jordan. I was looking at the word Jordan. I was talking about Elizabeth. Let's talk about Elizabeth.
I'm going to go first.
Of course.
As someone who's had tantrums of that magnitude myself, I can relate to this guy. I've never had a tantrum like that. I thought it was great television, but horrific to watch. I mean, that girl is probably a spoiled, rich little kid from some Laguna.
Coda de Casa.
Yeah, rich kid that has never been told no in her life. And Zach said earlier, they're under pressure. Those meltdowns just happen. Our emotions are
in that moment.
In that moment, I mean, so mature for such a little guy. But I thought the way Elizabeth on the floor, storming out, saying that Asia should have went home. It's not fair. It was just
Hadley.
Hadley. I'm sorry, unprofessional, and it really gave an insight to how she is as a person. On a scale of 1 to 10 in disgustingness, it was like a 15. So that's how I felt about that. And predictions, I think it's gonna. This shows that we're getting to the thick of it. It's about to go real deep, real quick. Madison is gonna show up and whip out her mutant powers and slay everyone. Asia is gonna keep on demolishing. And I honestly think the next ones to be going home could possibly be Lexine or Amanda.
My reaction to Elizabeth going home was finally. I think she should have went home last week. I even wrote that. Finally.
Yeah.
Because I honestly think that she shouldn't have gotten a chance to squeak by last week. I think she should have went home, and I really do think that Zach should have still been there this week. Her meltdown was a spoiled girl who probably gets her way and gets everything that she wants. And I understand wanting something really bad and being disappointed, but that reaction is different from what we saw with Elizabeth. That was like it's not fair. It's me, and I want this, and I want it now. She reminds me of that girl from Willy Wonka. Who
Butler Beauregard.
Yes, who ended up being a big blueberry. That's what.
That was not that little girl who was having such a hard time a couple of weeks ago. That was like, whoa, yeah.
This is the girl who wanted to get sympathy points for letting us know that her parents are getting a divorce. Goodbye, Elizabeth. Glad that you're gone.
Deuces.
Sorry, that sounds so cruel because I know that they're so young, but bye. It's survival.
Bye, eyebrows.
Trust me, you are going to be told no a lot more times in this lifetime.
Well, and what I thought was so interesting about that is the fact that her mom says, well, I'm not a dancer, I can't help her out.
Yeah.
You can help that attitude, honey.
Yeah, you can. And I think Amanda's going home next week.
We'll see. Okay, well, I agree with you guys on that point. I'm glad Elizabeth's going home, and she needs to grow up. Luckily, she has five more years.
Yeah.
But yes, thank you so much for watching. I'm Giselle Ugarte. You can find me on Twitter at Giselle Ugarte. And my lovely co-host over here.
Oh, fine. Hey, I'm Jason J. Carter. You can find me on
The
Twitter
twins.
at JJC Forever, and also on Facebook at the Jason J. Carter fan page.
And you can find me on Twitter at Lounging with Tony or loungingwithtony.com.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to find us on YouTube and on iTunes. Rate us, comment, join the conversation. We'll see you next week.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.